Senator Tulfo at Senator Pia Cayetano nagkainitan at nagkasagutan sa Senado. Isang panukalang batas na naglalayong itatag ang Magna Carta para sa mga Pilipinong marino ang humadlang sa plenaryo ng Senado noong Miyerkules, kasunod ng mga oras-oras na debate. Ang tatlong terminong senador na si Pia Cayetano ay may ilang mga katanungan upang ayusin ang panukala, ngunit hindi sila umupo ng maayos sa sponsor ng panukalang batas. Kinailangang suspindihin ni Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri ang sesyon ng ilang beses dahil lumakas ang tensyon. Isang pagkakataon ay nang humingi ng paglilinaw si Cayetano kung aling mga ahensya ng gobyerno ang maaaring mag-issue ng sertipikasyon na kinakailangan para sa mga Filipino seafarer na payagang magtrabaho. Nagpasalamat si Tulfo sa kanyang mga kasamahan sa pagsuporta sa pagpasa nito at binanggit na ito ay ang kanyang unang pet bill na nakakuha ng pag-aproba sa ikatlong pagbasa.
Hindi naman natin pwedeng baguhin dahil sa kagustuhan mo para
Session suspended.
Okay, Your Honor, what I am trying to explain is under Philippine law, there is a difference between domicile and residence. So in your standard employment contract, if a seafarer will indicate a particular address and it says domicile, then that is different from residence. If it says residence, then that is different from domicile. And I would insist that Philippine law would govern. So the obligation of government is affected if he will not be able to return the seafarer to the place of domicile because that is different, that could be very different from the place of residence. So it is important that His Honor tells us what is the intention. Where do you want the seafarer to be returned?
Okay. I thought, Your Honor, my team already talked to your team and they already agreed on that matter.
Your Honor, I will. It is the sponsor and I who will agree.
No,
So,
yeah, I understand, Your Honor, but for the sake of brevity or for the sake of na para mapaiksi tayo and
Pero kailangan ho nagkakaintindihan tayong dalawa.
magkakaintindihan tayo, Your Honor. Magkakaintindihan tayong dalawa, Your Honor. Bakit natin pinag-aawayan yung domicile and
Hindi natin pinag-aawayan.
place of
Tiwanag
residence?
ko lang po ang use of terms natin because they have significance, Your Honor.
What's the significance? What is the significance, Your Honor? What's the significance of domicile and place of residence?
I
What's so
think,
important?
Your Honor, your lawyer should be the one informing you what is the difference of domicile and residence. I've already been pointing out that there is a difference. If your team cannot
But Your Honor, like I said, under the MLC convention provision, domicile refers to the home address, and in the SEC, it's the same when the seafarer filled out his SEC form, place of domicile there refers to his address. In the MLC and in the SEC, domicile means home address.
Your Honor, I am simply informing the sponsor that under Philippine law, there is a difference between domicile
I understand, Your Honor,
and
but it
residence.
is already understood under the MLC provision, domicile means home address, and under the standard employment contract, which the seafarer signed, the word domicile refers to his home address.
Okay, so I will ask His Honor a question. When the seafarer indicates a home address, yung po ba kaya ang kanyang temporary address sa Manila o yung po yung kino-consider niyang permanent home niya sa probinsya? Alin kaya ho yun dun?
Yung point of hire is Manila. When you say domicile, yun po yung permanent address niya, Your Honor, as declared doon sa kanyang SEC. Kasi po doon sa SEC, idideklara mo yung iyong home address. At anong nakalagay doon? Domicile. Wala naman nakalagay doon home address. Nakalagay doon domicile.
Your Honor, I am just putting on record that there are legal differences. Huwag ho kayo magagalit. Kasi
No,
ho,
I'm not mad.
May legal
I'm not
differences
mad, Your Honor.
yun.
But-
Ayoko pong malito ang gobyerno at ang ating
Well, yung
pong mga
gobyerno po hindi
seafarers.
malilito. I'm sure.
Sir,
I
there are
guarantee you, the
legal
government-
differences. So if we do not
suspended.
clarify,
Hindi naman natin pwedeng baguhin dahil sa kagustuhan mo para
Session suspended.
actually, Mr. President, we will await the definition because the word residence, as far as I know, does not appear in the bill. So as to how it will be defined and how it relates to to the other definitions in the bill, we will look at it, Your Honor, to help His Honor make sure that it is consistent.
The other amendments first, go back to the
Okay, does the sponsor,
Your Honor is the sponsor.
I'm sorry, does the, Your Honor, Mr. President, does the good senator from Taguig wants us to come up with the definition of terms now where it will
Your Honor,
appear
at
the
His
word,
Honor's, Mr. President, at His Honor's convenience.
I'm saying,
I was saying that the definition of terms can be produced at His Honor's convenience.
Oh.
I was simply pointing out that
all right.
the term residence does not appear, but there is a section 28 where it refers to residential address, I think. I'm just pointing that out so that the team that is drafting can take that into consideration.
Okay. If the good senator from Taguig would allow us to proceed with the other amendments, and then we can just go back to the issues that are being raised by her honor.
Of course, His
pertaining
Honor has the floor. His Honor was making his amendment on section 63.
Okay.
And I was simply asking for a copy so
Thank
I
you.
could follow the amendment. The Philippine government will carry the cost of care. I think we need to be careful about that because in as much as I would like the Philippine government to take care of all OFWs, even PhilHealth cannot cover all the sicknesses of the Filipinos. So kailangan reasonable po ang expectations natin kasi mahirap pong mangako na hindi naman natin kayang ituparin. So may I suggest that the sponsor revisit that and come up with language that is more reasonable. Mr. President, I was just saying that when you state that the government will handle the cost of care, medyo even PhilHealth cannot handle all, no? Lahat ng may cancer, gusto ko sagutin ng PhilHealth. Lahat ng may renal problems, gusto ko i-cover nila lahat ng dialysis. Pero may hangganan yung kakayanan. So wag tayong magpaasa na hindi naman kakayanin. And my request was to improve the language so that it's reasonable.
To the good, Mr. President, to the good sponsor, we're referring here upon arrival at the point of hire, which is dito sa Pilipinas, up to the seafarer's return to the place of domicile. Doon lang po. So pag dumating po dito sa Pilipinas at nag-quarantine siya, halimbawa mayroong pandemic na nangyari, emergency, then the government will take care of all the expenses covered doon sa time na siya ay nasa quarantine until siya makauwi. Walang pinag-usapan po rito tungkol sa cancer, tungkol sa chemotherapy or kidney dialysis, etc. Mr. President.
So the obligation of the government is limited to the quarantine because this provision refers to in case of epidemic or pandemic. I
Yes.
do not know what epidemic and pandemics there will be in the future. I am totally unable to predict what kind of care will be required. To say that they will be cared for in quarantine, okay na po yun. Pero all the cost of care, mahirap po yun. Kasi kung lahat yan, mga ilangan na ma-intubate, hindi ho kakayanin yun. Tapos magiging obligation of the state yan and they will not be able to perform. So I am just putting that on record because we have to be mindful of the limitations of the ability of government.
I understand, Mr. President, Your Honor, pero even before doon po sa example ko sa nangyaring pandemic, yung mga returning OFWs, pagdating po sa kanilang quarantine, food, and up to the time na sila po ay mabalik sa kanilang domicile, yan po ay kino-cover na po ng ating gobyerno through OWA. So I don't see any reason bakit natin hindi pagpatuloy yung dati ng ginagawa nating gobyerno. Plus, pagdating sa pandemic, wala naman po siguro sa pandemic na ang naging result after sa pandemic, sila po ay nagkasakit sa kidney, sila po ay nagkasakit sa cancer and all. Ang pinag-usapan lang dito is yung quarantine na habang sila nasa quarantine, yun po i-cover ng ating gobyerno, which ginagawa naman sa sa nakaraang pandemic, Mr. President, Your Honor.
To be clear, Mr. President, hindi ko sinasabing magkaka-cancer sila. Nagbigay lang ho ako ng halimbawa na maski po lahat ng sakit na nagaganap, hindi kayang sagutin ng PhilHealth. Hindi ko ho sinabing magkaka-cancer po yung OFW na nakina-quarantine. On that note, Your Honor, I think it will suffice if the records will bear that this is the reasonable care expected to be given to to any Filipino, no, that would have to be quarantined. Reasonable care. Any Filipino. Pareho lang naman ang natatanggap, di ba? I think fair naman po yun. May I ask that the gentleman in the back be conscious that there's a official debate going on here. Sorry, hindi ko lang kasi marinig ang sponsor. Medyo seryosong usapan namin dito.
We'll ask our colleagues to settle down.
Thank you. So with that, Your Honor, I have no amendment. I just wanted, if His Honor agrees with my statement, then that will be on record na yan ang interpretation ng amendment na yan.